Good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream, and I'm going to do our March the 25th, just for today, in a meditation. I hope you're doing well this morning. The title of the meditation today is I Can't, but We Can. From the isolation of our addiction, we find a fellowship of people with a common bond of faith, strength, and hope come from people sharing their recovery. Now, that comes from the basic text, page 98. Admit no weakness, conceal all shortcomings, deny every failure, go it alone. That was the creed many of us followed. We denied that we were powerless over our addiction, that our lives had become unmanageable, despite all evidence to the contrary. Many of us would not surrender without the assurance there was something worth surrendering to. Many of us took our first step only when we had evidence that addicts could recover in Narcotics Anonymous. In NA, we find others who've been in the same predicament with the same needs, who found tools that work for them. These addicts are willing to share those tools with us and give us the emotional support we need as we learn to use them. Recovering addicts know how important the help of others can be because they've been given that help themselves. When we become a part of Narcotics Anonymous, we join a society of addicts like ourselves, a group of people who know that we help one another recover. Just for today, I will join in the bond of recovery. I will find the experience, strength, and hope I need in the fellowship of Narcotics Anonymous. Let's take a moment of silence, followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. So we're talking about this concept of togetherness versus aloneness, isolation, thinking we can go it alone and recover. And many people do it for a while, but there's very few that do it indefinitely. Why would they? When you think about the program of Narcotics Anonymous and the lovely way we have of celebrating our recovery at conventions and events that we throw, and our lovely way of giving back freely, what sponsor charges? I don't know a sponsor that charges for their time. And it's probably the type of quality time that, I would be willing to pay a counselor for, right? Yeah, but they don't do that. Sponsors take their time, their energy, or sometimes their money to be able to come alongside someone they've agreed to help work through their steps and hopefully traditions and hopefully 12 concepts. But the most important part is the steps. And they've agreed to do that freely, free of charge, because someone did it for them. I mean, when you have so much access to so many tools, why would you want to go it alone? And all it requires is a few minor adjustments about how you view interacting with other people, becoming vulnerable enough to be honest with someone about where you are and who you are, and not always hiding behind the masses. It's beautiful to be able to not whisper in someone's ear that you're hurting, but to actually sit across from the table and tell them that you're hurting. and you need some help. And there's people in the program, their whole vibe is nothing more than, I should say, nothing less than, right? Because I don't want it to sound like it's being minimized. But their whole vibe is that they enjoy working with the newcomer. They enjoy that. They make a habit to invest in the newcomer, take them out, sit down, have coffee, talk. And they're not sponsor, crazy. They're not trying to get them to ask them to be their sponsor. No. Matter of fact, those type of people usually have very little time on their plate for sponsorship, and they're just trying to befriend a person in recovery that's new, right? And so these are things that we have come to understand, that we don't have to go it alone anymore. It's no longer about what I can do to stay clean. It's about what tools I can access to help me stay clean. And a lot of those tools are found right here in Narcotics Anonymous, at the tables, in the steps, with the people, in the group, in service. You've heard it over and over again. There's no need to keep banging your head up against the wall, because all that you need has been made available to you, primarily freely. Yeah, the books cost, but you can still find some groups till this day. You can find groups that donate the basic text to the newcomer. I can't tell you how many times I've showed up at a meeting and decided, you know what, you're going to buy the newcomer a set of books. And I would just purchase them, and then I send them all around the table for everyone to write in them something to the newcomer, and we would present the newcomer. So there's people that do that, but there's also groups that do that, right? So the majority of what we need here is all free. We received it free and we give it away freely. In this world that we live in, the bond of recovery is waiting for you to decide mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically to join by choice and say that you're a member and act like one. It's beautiful. My name is MightyStream. I hope that you will have a beautiful day on purpose.